This is Bridge or Splash, a social experiment where we bring one conservative
Trump tells it like it is.
and one liberal
JD Vance gives me the ick.
into a game show
I'm 140% sure.
to test not only if they can avoid yelling at each other,
I'm very vicious.
but actually work together to win prizes.
Oh my god, attaboy.
And if they don't, they will be splashed.
Welcome to Bridge or Splash. I am here in Warren, Ohio with Sharon and Keith. This is the first time that you two are meeting, right?
First time. Never seen this man in my life.
No, I have no idea who she is.
Well, Sharon, meet Keith. Keith, meet Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
What do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, here's how the game works. This is not your typical game show. In this case, you're both on the same team starting off with $1,000 in the bank. And your goal is to keep that money throughout the entire game. You're going to be building a bridge between the two of you. To get a piece of the bridge, there's some risk because you have to answer a trivia question. If you get it right, the bank stays the same and I will give you the piece of the bridge. But if you get it wrong, then you're going to lose an amount of money from that $1,000 bank. And not only that, you're also going to get splashed. How worried are you about getting splashed?
I will not be getting splashed. I think we got this.
Oh. I'm with her. I won't get splashed
Well,
either.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Well then, ready for your first question?
Yes.
If you get the question wrong, then we're going to have to deduct $100 from the bank. What breed of a cat doesn't have fur? Is it A, Ragdoll, B, Siamese, C, Persian, or D, Sphinx?
I know a Persian cat does have fur. I'm gonna say probably A, the
Ragdoll?
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
I am very confident that it's D, Sphinx. I am a weirdo cat person, so please trust me on this one.
I'll go with that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm guessing. Sure. I'll go with her.
Because what if you get splashed because Sharon got that wrong?
Then I guess I deserve it.
But you're 100% sure?
I am 100% sure.
Okay. Well then, splashers, get ready. We're about to reveal the answer. The correct answer is D, Sphinx. Great job. You did good trusting Sharon. And then here's your first piece of the bridge.
Thank you.
And most importantly, the bank is still at $1,000.
That's
Awesome.
a good thing. That's the way we like it.
So you're a cat lady, you
I
said?
am a cat lady. My cat's a Himalayan. She has lots of fur. So her name is Violet, and she is everything to me.
Wow. How long have you had her for?
I've had her for 6 years. I was trying to get her into kindergarten last year, but they only take humans.
Good. And you are a sheet metal worker.
I do construction, fabrication of sheet metal into ductwork, or installing it, or anything sheet metal related.
And what I love about you is that it's not that common to have women in that industry.
That's correct. Our local has 2 women, and both of us are working on the same job, so it's really exciting to have a gal pal around.
Now, Keith, what do you do?
Kind of work sheet metal too. I work on cars. I fix wrecked cars.
Wow. And yet you have never met each other. Just double checking. Ready for your second question?
Ready?
In order to get this piece, again, we have a risk of $100 and a splash. So let's see if you get it right. In 1979, this Australian rock band released a song titled Highway to Hell, a reference to their grueling tours around the world. Is it A, Pink Floyd, B, Metallica, C, Led Zeppelin, or D, AC/DC?
I think it's AC/DC because My friend's mom will sing that song karaoke sometimes at the VFW.
Then how sure are you?
Like 75%.
Okay. You seem to be very confident about this answer.
I'm 140% sure.
So what do you think is the answer?
I'm a big AC/DC fan.
Oh, okay.
And I guarantee you it's AC/DC.
Okay. So are we going to trust him?
Yes, we're going to trust him.
Absolutely.
I just heard a little splash over there.
They can dump it on the ground because it ain't coming my way. I can tell you that.
Splashers, get ready. The answer is D, AC/DC. Yeah. Good job.
I knew that for that one for sure.
Well then, sir, here is your piece of the bridge. And we're doing great. So far, you've gotten your 2 questions right, which means that the bank is still at $1,000.
Where it's going to stay.
Oh, where it's going to stay? I mean, what I love is that you're extra confident.
We're confident. Feel good.
Oh my God, look at that. Sharon, another surprising thing about you is that you own a motorcycle.
I do own a motorcycle. It's kind of sissy looking, but that's kind of what I was going for. I definitely feel really cool riding it around. I mean, no one can touch me. And then when like the people on Harleys like give you the little wave, makes you feel unstoppable.
What made you get a motorcycle?
Honestly, everyone at work was getting one, and so I was like, I have to have one too. That's how you make good decisions.
Keith, how do you feel about Sharon having a motorcycle?
I got one myself,
Okay.
but mine's not street legal. Mine's a dirt bike.
Oh, because you're into motocross, right?
I race dirt bikes.
Wow.
Still at my old age.
I love that. And I know that your family describes you as,
A crazy old man.
and that's because you really like,
I'd do anything to get my blood pumping, anything to get the adrenaline going. You know, people say at your age you should play golf or something like that. I don't like to just sit around and do nothing.
right. Well, would you ever consider doing motocross?
Maybe. I've never tried it. I don't know anybody who does it.
Well, now you
Now
do.
I do.
Depending on how the game goes, maybe you have a motocross instructor now.
Yeah, maybe we can start a club.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, are you ready for the next question?
Let's go.
So far, $1,000 in the bank, intact. Let's see, the next piece comes with a risk of losing $150. This 3-time Academy Award nominee starred and produced last year's box office mega hit, Barbie. Is it A, Emma Stone, B, Margot Robbie, C, Scarlett Johansson, or D, Jennifer Lawrence? What do you think, Keith? You're not so sure now.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm thinking Jennifer Lawrence, maybe.
I am very confident that it is Margot Robbie.
Okay.
Did you watch Barbie?
Of course I watched Barbie,
Okay.
but I didn't watch it in the theaters. I waited till it was free on Amazon.
I'm gonna say I'm 100% going with her.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, splashers, please get ready. Oh? How would you feel if, because of you, Keith gets splashed?
I would feel horrible, and I might throw up.
Well, the right answer is B, Margot Robbie. So, great job. Great job. Here you go, ma'am.
Thank you.
You get another piece, and the bank is still at $1,000. You only have 3 questions left.
Let's do this.
Well, as you know, this is a social experiment where we're bringing strangers, someone that perhaps thinks just like you or differently than you. So when you see Sharon, what's your first impression?
Well, when I first seen her, I didn't think of sheet metal worker. I can tell you that.
Thank you. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
I figured more of a school teacher or something like that.
Now, what about you when you see Keith? What's your first impression?
I could definitely see a mechanic. Just like a regular, schmegular, like average Joe kind of guy. Like somebody's uncle.
Well,
Does that make sense?
it's funny because when I met you, I thought it's the grandpa that you love.
Something like that.
Okay. Right now in our country, it seems like it's very hard to talk to people that we perceive as different. And politics, especially, is one of the determinants for people to just automatically say, I don't want to talk to you. So why don't we put that on the table? Who are you voting for?
Trump.
Okay. And who are you voting for, Sharon?
I'm gonna vote for Kamala Harris.
Okay. Keith, what do you like about Trump?
He's the kind of guy that tells it like it is. Sometimes he says a little more than he should, but I just like the way he thinks. He's more for the middle class working man than most of the Democrats are the rich and the poor. The guy in the middle is the one that they don't care about. And that's where I'm at.
Sharon, what do you have to say?
I understand how he feels. However, I do think that Democrats are more for the working folk. At least I'm a member of a union, and Republicans are the only ones who pass right to work laws, which make it harder for people to unionize and raise wages as a working person only, is how I feel.
What I find interesting is that we have here two people that work in similar industries and have very different views on which party is supporting them the most.
Well, I don't know whether they help me particularly in that industry or whatever, but I just feel they help people like me.
Got it.
more.
Now, what do you think about Trump?
Not a huge fan, if I'm being polite.
I can see why.
Yeah, there's a crassness to it. Policy-wise, I don't think he's done a lot to benefit me in the life that I live.
After listening to this, you have a lot in common. You also have things that are not in common. How are we feeling about the rest of the game?
Oh, I think we're gonna rock it. We're gonna do good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of things that I don't know that she knows, and there's a lot of things that she don't know that I know.
I could not agree more.
Perfect. Well then, are we ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. And so far, no splashes. $1,000 still in the bank. The next question also comes with the risk of $150. Question number 4 is, according to the CDC, what was the #1 cause of death in the United States in 2020? Was it A, COVID-19, B, cancer, C, heart disease, or D, accidents?
I think that question wants me to say COVID-19, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, I'm between heart disease and COVID-19. Because I think that heart disease is usually the #1.
Yeah. Well, cancer usually is too.
I just want to point out that the question's asking in 2020.
In 2020.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe we go with the first one, unless you're trying to throw us.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking the COVID-19 is in there, because that's when it was big. But I think it killed a lot of people, but I don't know that it got as many as heart disease or cancer.
I think I would want to say COVID, but I don't feel very confident.
How confident are you that it's COVID-19?
20%.
Oh, God. And then what would you say, Keith?
My choices would be between cancer and heart disease. I would say, just because you're saying between COVID and heart disease, I would say heart disease. And I'm probably about 20% sure of that too.
Well, I'm going to need an answer, so please talk it out.
I don't have any coherent thoughts right now. So, I don't know. I think I want to say COVID. But if you feel...
I'm thinking the question itself is trying to get us to say COVID.
Yeah.
It may not.
You want rock, paper, scissors? Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Hey, we think the same. You're saying between COVID and heart disease. I'm saying between cancer and heart disease.
Okay.
So we both got heart disease.
Yeah, we'll just, use our mutual ground and we'll go with that.
Okay, just to reconfirm, your final answer is heart disease.
Yes.
I think we might get ready to get wet.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Splashers, please get ready to reveal the answer. And right answer is heart disease.
Oh my god. Attaboy.
Good job.
Didn't think it was COVID.
You might not have splashed me, but I think I soiled myself.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of deaths. In 2020, it was 696,000 people that lost their lives because of heart disease compared to 350,000 from COVID-19. The story here is get checked because it can happen to everyone, young and old. But in your case, this was a good question because the pot is still at $1,000.
Yeah.
And here you go with another part of the bridge. Are you ready for the next question then?
Very ready. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. The next piece of the bridge comes with a risk of losing $200 and getting splashed. Since 2020, how many proven cases of voter fraud have been recorded in the electoral fraud database maintained by the Heritage Foundation? Is it A, 215, B, 2,153, C, 21,534, or D, 215,348?
You ready to get wet?
Maybe we can surprise ourselves like last time.
How common do you think that voter fraud is in our country?
I think intentional voter fraud is very few and far between, but I think maybe like going to the wrong polling location or like not having your stuff up to date, like accidental stuff, I feel like that's probably more prevalent of voter fraud. I mean, I don't know how prevalent. The Heritage Foundation is more of a conservative think tank, but facts are kind of facts, right? It's a number.
What's on your mind, Keith? How prevalent do you think that voter fraud is?
I think that probably happens more than it gets recorded or caught or whatever. 200 and some, I don't think that's a little low. Then you got way up there.
So it can't be the last one.
I don't think it's the first one. I don't think it's the last one. I think it's one of the two in the middle.
I would think either A or B, personally. You want to do B? We both like B.
That's what I was gonna say. You're saying between A and B.
No.
I'm saying between B and C. It worked last time.
So just to be sure, you're saying that the answer is B, 2,153.
I feel better about that than I do the other ones.
Keith, do you agree?
I guess.
Okay.
Splashers, get ready.
The right answer is
My feet are sweating.
A, 215. I'm so sorry.
You love it, don't you?
Well, I got wet too. I'm also wet. We gave you some towels. You're still wet. But how do you feel?
Other than moist, optimistic.
Hey, we're not gonna get them all right. We're gonna try, but
Okay. The answer was 215. And I will say that the Heritage Foundation makes it very clear that they're not claiming that their list includes absolutely every single case of voter fraud. They call it a sampling. But it is telling that in 4 years, with two major elections, the 22 midterms and the 2020 general election, and more than 265 million votes cast, they only have 215 cases of voter fraud.
I believe it. Like, that doesn't really change anything for me.
Okay. Well, what changes is that the bank is now reduced and you have lost $200, which means that the bank is now at $800. So hopefully you can keep the $800 because there's only one question left. And that one also comes with the risk of $200 if you get it wrong, plus the splash. How was the splash?
Not my favorite part of the show.
or mine.
Well, you were doing so great. That's the thing. But anyway, hopefully you don't get splashed with this final question. According to the polling average website, 538, which of these VP candidates had the lowest approval ratings while they were vice presidential nominees? Is it A, Kamala Harris, B, Tim Walz, C, JD Vance, or D, Sarah Palin?
I don't think it was Kamala Harris, and I don't think it was Sarah Palin.
Now, I'm not 100% confident, but part of me thinks maybe it is JD Vance because I've heard rumblings of like people in the Trump campaign thinking about replacing him with someone else, which obviously means there's a problem somewhere.
If I had to guess, that's what I would say.
I think it's a solid guess.
I'm not very confident of it. I'll be honest with you, it's a guess. But if I had to guess, I would guess that.
What are your thoughts on JD Vance?
Honestly, I don't really know a whole lot, but I've heard a lot of negative things about JD Vance. I just, Republican, Democrat, whatever. I don't believe any of them.
But you're still voting
Yeah.
and voting Republican.
Well, that's just something you have to do.
What are your thoughts on JD Vance, Sharon?
Not a huge fan.
That's not what you said in the pre-interview.
He gives me the ick. JD Vance is totally ick. He's angry and he's very divisive. I don't like that. And I think his whole little like bullshit homegrown story.
I mean, he is from Ohio, where we are.
Yeah, but
But
he's not one of us.
what do you mean?
He's a politician.
Yes, yeah. If you have to misrepresent yourself to say like I'm one of you, I don't like that. But some people just do that to advance their own selves.
So we are saying JD Vance then?
I think so. Right.
Okay, splashers, get ready to reveal the answer. What if you get splashed again?
Will not be happy, but I will take responsibility for my own actions.
What about you, Keith?
Hey, whatever. Whatever happens, happens.
Well, the right answer is JD Vance. Awesome. Well, it's interesting because by the end of August, JD Vance has a favorable rating of 33, unfavorable 43. So that means that his net approval rating is -10 compared to Sarah Palin, it was -2, Kamala Harris +3, and Tim Walz is +5. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe I'm not surprised. I don't know. This
Well-
is a lot for me to digest.
What matters is that you got that question right, which means that you get to keep the $800 that are in the bank and you get this piece
Thank
of
you.
the bridge. It's time for the final decision. No more questions. You have been working together, but now what are you going to do with the money? I'm about to give you these final pieces of the bridge. On one side, they say bridge, and on the other one, splash. If you want to split the money with your partner, then you're going to choose to complete the bridge. But if you want to steal the money, then you're going to choose splash, and that means that the other person will leave with nothing and will get splashed. However, and this is the tricky part, if you both choose to splash and steal the money, then neither of you is going to win a dime, and you're both going to get splashed. Here's your piece, and here's your piece. You're going to have 1 minute to talk it out, and that minute starts now.
I don't know, what do you think?
I definitely want a bridge. That's me. I feel like we both did a really good job.
Yeah. Part of me wants to go big or go home. That's just the way I am a lot of times. But the other part of me says I'd rather go home with something than nothing.
I would definitely be pretty pissed if I got splashed again. So just keep that in mind. And I think that's the fair thing to do.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
But then you could do a switcheroo on me.
I could. You could do the same to me too. I know.
I'm very vicious.
I don't know how to read you.
Dude, I get that all the time.
Time's up. Think about what you just heard. Sharon and Keith, you have worked together and answered 5 questions right. The pot is at $800. And now we're going to reveal what we're going to do with that money. Splashers, get ready. Keith, I'm going to ask you to reveal your decision first.
Remember, I said, go baby, go home.
I do recall.
I don't know how to read you. I don't know what you're thinking. So I'm not sure. I'm going to trust you.
Okay. Sharon said that she was going to bridge, but
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about.
I guess the big question is, was it just a ploy to steal the money?
That's what I'm worried about.
Sharon, please reveal your decision.
Well, I am a little bit of a rascal, but I am no bullshit. I've also chosen to bridge.
Well, that means that you're both leaving with $400. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I think we did a great job.
Yeah, I think we did too. Like you said before, it wasn't all you, it wasn't all me. We did it.
I thought it was fun too. And I think we might not agree on everything, but that doesn't mean we can't work together and accomplish things and act like normal people.
Hell, me
As
and my-
normal
me and
as
my
I
wife
could
don't
get.
agree on everything, and we've been together for 40 years. So just because we're different, don't mean we can't get along. That's one of the problems in this world. Everybody just needs to learn to get along.
When is Keith going to teach you how to motocross?
Probably Thanksgiving. We'll probably have Thanksgiving dinner.
so is that happening
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, I think so. I'll have to check with her, but
Keith's wife is here. She says yes. Well, thank you, Keith. Thank you, Sharon. You're both leaving with $400. You've been great players. And to everyone watching this, you can watch another episode of Bridge or Splash. And don't forget to subscribe. See ya.
yay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.